Good afternoon, this is Boon, and this is Boon Talks Sports. Now, we haven't been posting for a little bit, my life got a little messy, but we are back and better, and I'm really excited to get back to this. I'm gonna start focusing on myself a lot more and doing what I love. But I just wanted to address the Oilers, so I wanted to make a video on this for a while, and the last couple video drops, it was going to be that, but then life got crazy, and yeah. So they fired Jay Woodcroft, and I am very upset about that. They also fired assistant coach. They also fired the assistant coach as well. I don't have too much to say on this. I could probably talk for 47 minutes about it, but I won't. I just think it's really frustrating, and it's not fair to Jay Woodcroft or anybody, because it's not the player's fault. I think that the goaltending needs to change, and they did that. They put Jack Campbell down in the AHL in Bakersfield, which he is crapping the bed. He is not doing well at all, and it's actually kind of comical because when we got Jack Campbell, everyone was like, this is a horrible trade, do not do it, like, do not pick him up, this is horrible, do not. And now it's coming to fruition, like, he's not a good goalie. Like, he has his moments, but he's a below average AHL player, AHL goalie, like, and his numbers down there prove it. So I kind of happy about the fact that they sent him down. I that was weird. Happy they sent him down, but at the same time, I think that they need to get a veteran goalie that is better and can actually play and is consistent, and they need to get their goalie coach out. I think that is like some of the first things they should do. Obviously, I know the goalie market is very, very tough and very, very expensive, because obviously you only need two goalies. You can have multiple other players, but you only need two goalies. And yeah, no one's going to trade for a below average AHL goalie, So I understand the issues there. But that would be really cool to see, is if we could pick up a veteran goalie that can teach Stu some stuff. And like I said, get the goalie coach out, because the goaltending has always been an issue, and we have only changed the coach, the head coach, probably the assistant coach as well, but we've really, like, that's like the only change that has been happening. And it's so frustrating, because we need goalies, we need better defense. I would really like to see Darnell Nurse out. I would really like to see another defenseman out. But I would really like to see that happen. I think that the fans and people are judging Evan Bouchard too hard. He is really still only in his rookie years. Like, he is still at the very beginning of his career, right? And that's what I think, right? Let me check this. Let me Google check this. He's 24, yeah. Like, so he's only, like, let's look at this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's played 5 seasons. The first one, 7 games. Second season, 14 games, and then 2 back-to-back 81, 82 games. And he's played 15 games so far this season. So he's really only been a NHL player, like full-time, for 2 to 3 seasons if he completes this one all the way, you know? Like, and they're judging him as if he's played the same amount as Darnell Nurse or the same amount as, Duncan Keith or something, And I think people just need to lay off of him because he's still growing. And I feel like when Duncan Keith was with the Oilers, he taught Evan Bouchard so much, And I think that got clouded, and we had a lot of expectations like going into the last 2 seasons, right? But I think that people need to lay off Bouchard. I seriously think he's not as bad as everyone thinks. He's actually a pretty decent defenseman. But I think they need to get rid of Darnell Nurse and another defenseman and bring in. I like that they brought in Ekholm. I think maybe like another vet would be good. That would be really cool to see. Or, just keep grinding it out with the rookies. But I think we need to get Nurse out of there, and yeah. And then for the forwards, I think no, not too much to comment on there. My only real concern, I guess, is that, at the beginning of all of this, when Edmonton started rebuilding, 100 years ago, we started at the front. We started with Connor McDavid, Draisaitl. We started with the first line, second line. And we should have started at the goalie. And that's the frustrating part. And we have had not very good GMs. I think we need to get Ken Holland out of there as soon as possible. I think he's 3 years into this too late. I think he came in 2019 or something. I think he really only should have stayed for maybe 1 or 2 years. But yeah, no. And he was the one that I'm pretty sure got Jack Campbell into all this mess. So that's just great. So that's frustrating. I think that, yeah, they need to get rid of JJ. They need to get rid of Ken Holland. When they said that Paul Coffey was going to be the assistant coach, I did not know how I felt about that. I misinterpreted a quote that said that he liked his old job, his old cushy job, but he didn't want to coach the defensemen and all that. But the last 2 games, the defense has been really tight and really good, and I'm happy about that. It's looking kind of up, but at the same time, like, we always look good at the beginning of a coach's change, but the same habits are always going to come up. It's always going to be the goalie when Jack Campbell comes back up. It's going to be the defenseman falling apart. It's going to be Ken Holland making stupid ass trades and picking up players we don't need. So you look back and, history will eventually repeat itself. But, hopefully it doesn't repeat itself before we get to the playoffs, right? So with that being said, it's just really frustrating because it's just so tangled, and all of the fans know what needs to be done, and it's like they can't get it done. They just keep blaming the coach over and over again, and I don't think it's the coach's fault at all, which is frustrating because we've had some really good coaching. Jay Woodcroft finished with like a 0.643 or something win-loss ratio, and that was the highest in the Oilers franchise. So that says a lot, and the fact they let him go is just Ken Holland, looking for a scapegoat again, and it's frustrating. As a Edmontonian, as an Oilers fan, um, I've demoted myself from being like a hardcore super fan to just a regular fan because, at the end of the day, it's going to be the same story over and over and over again until they get those pieces out. The Ken Holland, the JJ, the, goalie coach, getting a better goalie in, it's gonna be the same story on repeat until that stuff happens, and there'll be little breakthroughs. Alright, this is the next day, but I'm watching back the video and completely forgot to make a kind of closing statement and outro, and kind of forgot like where I was going with my whole rant. But basically, I think the Edmonton Oilers can turn this around if they get rid of the pieces that I talked about, and yeah. But that's all for this video, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm Boon, and this is Boon Talk Sports. Let's go.